Now it's time for the technical session 4, that is presentation on revamping of drainage system. Now we invite Dr. Prashant Bhave, former head Department of Civil and Environment Engineering, VJTI, to please come up on stage and give a presentation on the same. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Prashant Bhave.
Thank you very much. Namaskar. Good afternoon. I am over here to talk about the system, drainage system, and what are the difficulties or the problems which we as a metropolitan city are having. Now, when we talk about this system, prior to that, this is a too long a list. I'm going to tell you that on the priority scale where we are and what we need to do. Nature has given us a body, human body, which is composed of various systems: circulatory system, cardiovascular system, digestive system, excretory system, muscular, neural. I have a BMI states that I'm 72 kilograms is enough for me. It's the standard fixed by the experts. After the studies, medical science has given it. If I put on 2 kilograms, 3 kilograms, I need to worry. We all understand. If I put on weight, I'm 10 kilograms plus, I need to worry about the systems and its working. How is it going to work? How is it going to behave and deliver it to us? Same thing when we talk about city's sewerage system is the heart and soul of a city. I am saying it heart and soul because this is something which we have not heard from any of the speakers earlier so far, at least from morning when I am over here. This is important for urban life and the environment. We all are talking about environment. I do belong to the environmental engineering. I work in the area of environmental. It ensures the optimal living conditions for the urban dwellers. We all are. And the other participants, stakeholders of the environment. Hence, this needs to be given a priority. So all these 25, 30 slides which are over here are going to tell you that where we are and what is it. Maybe little of the technicality as the basics of the design and which everyone can understand. It's not something very different which we will not understand. So today we are facing various problems which are complicating the operations of the city sewers. Those who are the city managers, those who are managing the city, that we are going to see everywhere. It is seen in any of the metropolitan city if you will pick it up. So we need to minimize the impact on the environment. I'm talking about the urban environment. So when we talk about a drainage or a drainage system, sometimes it is called as sewerage. Sewer is a pipe which carries the wastewater. We are supplied with whatever the standard may be, 135, 120, 100 liters per capita. Every day we get that. And with a very normal calculation, we say 80% it returns back to as the wastewater or the used water. That goes to the sewer. So sewerage network has got a technicality attached to it that it works on gravity. Technically, when it comes to a flow which is a gravity flow, it attracts the challenges. The lower sections of the networking, so in the network in the city, wherever it collects the wastewater, that we call it as the sewerage. And sewerage system, it is composed of the waste which is generated from my place to the treatment plant or the disposal. I am only concentrating and talking about the network of the pipes which is carrying the wastewater. In Singapore, it is called as used water. So that is sometimes, yes, it requires the pumping stations because when it goes down, you need to head it up, you need to bring that water to an upper level or wherever it is required. So pumping is an integral part when the area grows and it is over there. We call it as the pressure main or the pressure pipe. It requires a different design, but majority is a gravity system. These are some of the basics of the sewerage network system when we talk about. That is, the networks are designed on the basis of the basin. So the whole of the city or the area is divided according to the topography in the different zones, and then from there the routes are done. And these routes decide the cost of the sections which are designed are decided upon it. The very important is the hydraulic part of it. Not very difficult to understand because a pipe which carries water, we all understand if it is under gravity, it needs to have a slope. If it has to carry this much of volume, we take a diameter. So that is called as hydraulic calculation, which are part of the sewerage or the sewer network. The profile, the longitudinal profile is decided. So networking is done. And then ultimately comes the construction of the sewerage or the sewage network. Now, here, one important thing which is to be seen is the cost of the whole system. The major part of it is governed by the pipes, the major. So the network accounts for 60-70% of the total cost of the project. So it is very important when it comes to the economy. Another, as I have been underlining or talking about the gravity, so we need to talk about the velocity, because the velocity, when it flows under gravity, we need to ensure two things when it comes to the sewer design, because it need not exceed to the maximum velocity which is given, and it shouldn't be less than the minimum velocity. These are the constraints of the system, sewer system which we call it. So it happens in a city when we talk about a sewerage network, the discharge which flows, we all know and we can understand that there are two peak hours or peak zones in a day, 24 hours. So diurnal variation is in the morning, say from 8 to 10, or 6 to 10 in a city like Mumbai. This is when the maximum utilization of the toilet, bathroom and whatnot, everything, kitchen is done. And then second phase comes in the evening when we all return back. So these are the peak periods when the wastewater is generated. So at that time, the quantity of water or the flow is maximum. And during the bleak hours of midnight, probably 1, 2, 3, 4 am. So when we go for that, the discharge in the pipe is minimal, very little. And that goes to 10% of the maximum. So if a network is designed for X liters, 10% of it. So these are the limitations that the system should work with 10% of flow. System should work with the maximum flow. So this is what the maximum provision is in the service area with the gravity. Another is the rationality, the economics is dependent upon the depth where it is situated, the depth at which the sewer or the drains are situated. You cannot take it too deep. There is a restriction. Normally we say 3 to 5 feet. In Mumbai you will find that 3 to 5 meters it has gone deep. Now this is a limitation because these are required from the point of view of maintenance. If it goes deeper and deeper, it will be difficult or it will be impossible to maintain. So this is one. Another important dimension which is attached to the network in the city is it has to cross the utilities. We call it cross drainage works. So there may be a nala which is crossing, there may be a railway line, there may be a utility which is over there, and then the sewer network or the sewer or the pipe or the drain has to cross that. Now since it is under gravity and you have to go down and then come up, it's not a gravity system which will work. So you have to design, redesign and think over it. So these are the challenges when it comes to the sewer network to come across a CD work or a drainage work or cross drainage which we call it. So what are the problems which are attached to the sewerage network? When we talk about the problems, why I'm telling you all this? Because once you understand this, we will try to search for the solutions. Continuous population growth and urbanization. Are we? Yes, very much. Everyone knows. If I talk about 30, 40, 50 years back, the population of Mumbai, and today we work on the metropolitan city and its population. Everyone knows it has doubled. If it has doubled, don't you think the supply of water? Yes, I'm not talking about water, but the generation of wastewater has also gone up. Urbanization. So overloading the available service which is over there. Another is the blockage, clogging, backwater of the sewage. Why it is there? Because we are talking about not water, we are talking about wastewater. Wastewater contains the human waste. Wastewater contains something which is thrown into that. Now, it is not designed, the system is not designed for it. But if it comes into that, it creates a problem and which are listed over there in this form. Another is the dynamic nature of the city. Mumbai is a city which is dynamic in its nature. We have its own population and then the major part of the floating population comes to Mumbai. They may not be taking bath over here, but they make use of the toilet. They make use of the facilities which are over there. They also add into this. We need to consider that. This is a unique nature of the city like Mumbai. May not be happening probably with Chennai or Ahmedabad or Indore, but with Mumbai it is there. Lack of public awareness. I am standing over here only to make you aware. I am not giving any solution. Solutions are there. But if I make you aware that attention is to be paid to this, you all will think, you all will press as a bureaucrat, as a politician, as a citizen, as an engineer, and as a builder too. So this is what we are saying. So these are the problems which are associated with the sewerage system. This is one of the studies which has studied number of metropolitans. And they said it, that what kind of problem it is. Very simple to understand. Mumbai has got 1, 2, and 7. Blockage problem, clogging, and yes, river and the ocean related pollution. It is there. Yes, it is there. If I talk about a city of Bangalore, 1, 2, 3, the same. Blockage, clogging, overflow. These are the problems of the sewer or the sewerage system. Talking about Delhi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this study has highlighted in the metropolitan cities which were studied what kind of problems are seen. At large, it is 1, 2, 3. Now, the crisis of the urban sewerage system, which I have already talked earlier. So overloading or the pressure on the system, this all puts pressure on the system. If the population is doubling, increasing, our systems have not changed in the past. I will come to the Mumbai. So is it not making an impact? It's making a serious impact on the system. Mind it is directly connected to your hygiene, my hygiene, urban environment. We are talking about roads. We are talking about what kind of system, transportation should be there. How many of us have talked about this? How many of us are paying? I'm talking about the policymakers. Yes, whatever they have done, that account, I will give it to you. And then you will understand how short and how much is the gap between the development. Everyone was talking here about the FSI. I'll share the study of FSI, which we have studied in Matunga. When the FSI goes up from 4 to 5, how much is the load on the system? From 5 to 6, what is the load? And it is a published paper, publication. So when we talk about this dynamic nature of the city, sewerage system, user perspective, are we aware that what are the do's and don'ts of our system? We never care for it. Now we have started talking about the solid waste management in the last 1, 2 or 3 decades. Earlier we never cared for it. I little fortunate that I work with the solid waste management and hazardous waste management for last 2 decades. Did we understand? We need to make the people aware that these are the do's and these are the don'ts. Same is applicable over here also. If you are putting into the system the diapers, how is it going to move? People, they do it. Sanitary napkins, yes, if it is allowed, if the system is designed, fine. Otherwise, it needs to be packed. We deal with the sanitary napkins in the solid waste management. It's a huge problem. But this is a user's perspective. Are we not supposed to know this? Yes, with the age deterioration, the systems get deteriorated with the age because it's all, after all, a material. So this is the problem with the urban sewerage system. These are the challenges. I have already talked about it. So what do we expect from an efficient sewerage system? Obviously, whatever is talked over here, it shouldn't be there. It should not block. If it blocks our society, if the drain is there and then everyone comes, no, this is blocked. Who is responsible? We are responsible. Is it? And if it happens in the society and it is disgusting, we don't like it. If it happens for the city, what is going to happen? It does happen. So when we talk about this, if we talk about an efficient sewerage system, it needs to give you or me hygienic environment. Look at this. Very simple language. I am going to tell you what is the design basic. I am not teaching you design. I am not talking about design. So estimation of the flow. Are we increasing in the population? Yes, we are increasing very fast in the population. Urban population I am talking about. Is it increasing the flow? Yes, everyone makes use of water and it is going ahead with it. FSI, are we? Yes, we are changing in the FSI. Have you considered this on the circulatory system of the city, the load? No, not to that extent. We did, but not to that extent. Hydraulics, there are various shapes which are there technically. The flow conditions, because the limitation is of gravity. Had it been a pumping system, you can pump it, but it's not affordable because it's huge quantity. Nowhere it is done. When we talk about, we have to think about the correction to the existing system. We need to think about the augmentation of the system. We need to think about the newer material. This is a change in the sewer system so that the flow is maintained, so that it flows smooth. Conditions of manhole. There are 75,000 manholes in the city of Mumbai. Can you imagine the problem with the MCGM, which they narrated? People, they take away the manhole cover. How to manage? How to do it? If the manhole cover is missing, you have to replace it because it's a ditch where the vehicle accidents and everything can happen. But this problem is there. Now, when we talk about the operation and maintenance, do we have the services related to the sewer system or the sewerage operations on the emergency? Like the ambulance, I was, for some purpose, in 25 years back, studied in a European country. One day when I was traveling to my Mensa it used to be called, there was a vehicle which was running on the priority. I said, what is it? It is not an ambulance. No, it is a technician who is going to repair the water main which is leaking. Do we have our systems? They keep on flowing. So emergency services, whenever we are required to, because this is on high alert. Now recently, in the last week, I think 30th of September, they have floated a tender where they have made 3 control rooms 24 hours in Mumbai, where 3 or 4 vehicles are there. They can manage any kind of emergency related to the sewer failure or the blockage. So these are some of the things which we need to design and think. Some data which I have obtained from MCGM, 2,000 odd kilometers kilometers of the sewers are there, which serves to 84 lakhs of population. And the population which is over there of Mumbai is 13 million, 130. I know that it is more than that, but I'm afraid of that number. That is why I don't call it more than 130. 130, 13 million, 31 lakh. 21 lakhs in the first phase are going to be given the supplies. There are sewers with 90 centimeters diameter where a man cannot enter, and the other are more than 90 centimeters where the person can enter. And these are the lengths which they have completed with the revamping or redoing it. And the proposed you can see by 2030. This is a difference in the population. The slum population is 60%, 61.5%. Every 0.1% is important over here. 61% is slum and remaining is non-slum area. These are the difficulties of Mumbai, which I will narrate it in short. Densely populated slums. Dharavi Sambandh has mentioned 2.49 or 2.3 square kilometers of area having 10 lakhs of population. Per square kilometer density is very high if you calculate 4 lakhs. How are you going to provide the sewerage system over there? The narrow lanes and by lanes, Ganesh Galli, Lower Parel, Girgaon, we are struggling when the structures of 35, 40, 50 storied are coming up over there and there is no road to take out the vehicle. Where is my drain? Drain is just below. No one thinks of it. What must be the load on that? Existing structures. Now we have metro also added to it. Water supply is there. Electricity is there. Telephone cables are there. And our drains pass through that. Hydraulics doesn't permit me, engineering doesn't permit me to go deeper for the gravity reason. And then one very important is no easy coordination. Please the earlier slide. There is no coordination or healthy coordination between the departments like railways. They will say that wait for some time. MMRDA, roads, PWD, they all will say that go with because their priority is road. Their priority is other. So this coordination is lacking between the department. These are the slums. You all have seen it. Now in this lane, how a sewer is to be laid and maintained. This is all statistics which is talk. I can talk about it, but the land area is limited over there, which is useful. So if you talk about that 437 or 438 square kilometers, what is the land area where the sewers are to be laid? If you will look at it, so sewered area is 83% of where it can be developed. Yeah, this is, you can see here, the main sewer is of 1400 by 2100 millimeters. That is, we take it as 1.4 meter to 2.1 meter because this is an egg-shaped sewer. Normally the sewers are circular. But the different shapes are also given because it can flow with 10% of capacity, or during the bleak time, it needs to flow with a minimum velocity of 2 feet per second. Otherwise, it will settle over there and it will decompose. So in Mumbai, if you are talking now, we have the vehicle mounted sewer cleaning machines, which are very much required, but probably it has come late. And if those are there, we need to increase in number because the system we can't afford to stall for some time. It's related to the hygiene. There is a 24/7 control rooms. Earlier also it was there. Now also. So now they are paying attention to it. So whatever sewers are there, those are running. And for your information, I'll talk about it. Yeah, there are satellite pumping stations, 40. These are the sewers. You can see here. These were laid during the British times, still working. 50, 60, 70 years old sewers. And our sewage flows through it. These are part of the main sewers. And what is the condition? Because if it is flowing for hydraulics, you need to have the smooth surface to flow. Everyone knows. Doesn't require heavy engineering and the engineering degree to understand. What will happen if the wastewater is flowing through this? So they have done it. Revamping, rehabilitation. See, this is what is the lining is done by the MCGM. Wherever, however it is possible, they have done it so that the flow is smooth. These are some of the pictures which I have taken from MCGM. This is an egg-shaped sewer on the right of you. These are the sewage treatment plants. The chief engineer is here, Mr. Rao. So yes, he is here. He is instrumental in getting all these 7 zones STPs, which we were not having. Now it is already, I think, work order is given. I happen to be in one of the committees with him. And that now we are going to have all this, what you are seeing, the preliminary and the preliminary kind of treatment to the wastewater has gone to the tertiary level. But still it will take time of 5 years when all these treatment plants going to work or start working or delivering the treated wastewater. So far, we were very much on the back foot, and then they are having the problem from the NGT and Supreme Court every time they have to go and tell it to them. But the wastewater flows to all these treatment plants are going to flow through the network of sewers. This is one of the paper which I have already cited that Matunga has grown up. I am working with VJTI and I have seen that area for more than 3 decades. Earlier it had ground plus 3-4 storied buildings. Now all those have been converted into 35, 40, many of them, majority. Now what is where the wastewater is going? So the impact which is not seen behind the chairs, it has remained always behind the chairs or curtain, the impact on the system. So it needs to be revamped by 13 to 42%. This study is a published study. This is a news of September 30 when control room with all these equipments is set up. Anytime, any blockage, MCGM can attend to it and make the flow smooth. Now everyone was talking about Singapore, so I'm also talking about Singapore. Why? Because we always look at something which is better. Yes, in the Southeast Asia, probably South Asia, Singapore is one of the destinations when everyone looks eyes for it. Some of the data which I may correct. Look at this. They have revamped their system. They have a drain which is laid at a depth, deep trench. And the size of the drain is 6.5 meters. And it has got 100 years maintenance-free life. The first sentence, maintenance-free design. How? Why? Because it is a concrete layer with HDPE liner, 22 centimeters of concrete which is over there, and that concrete is also unreinforced because the reinforcement plays havoc with the sulfates, with the wastewater. And there is a reaction and it goes away. They have saved the land also after their design. And that saving in the land which was proposed as 300 hectares, they have provided the complete infrastructure related to the sewerage to 190 hectares. And phase 1 was complete in 2008. Phase 2 target date was 2022. I didn't get any update on the net. But it is Singapore, so probably they have completed the system. If they can lay, and the sewer is at a depth of 50 meters, because it's a gravity system. It delivers into the deep sea, outfalls are there up to 12 kilometers. So when they can do it, why not we can? You are thinking of making the metro, you are thinking of making the road, you are revamping the road network. You need to revamp this system also. How it is to be done? Conclusion is, we need to revamp, we need to pay attention. In the list of our priorities, we have to bring it up. That's all. Thank you very much.
Since time is pressing, so we can have only one question.
I'm Kunal Chonkar. I'm the Senior Economic Officer from the Japanese Consulate. Thank you so much for a very detailed and outlined presentation. I really appreciate this. I just have one question. You talked about the challenges about the gravity in terms of the sewer systems. My only question that I want to know is, how much does the cup and saucer structure of the city, the island city, affect the sewer systems as well, especially when it comes to the lower Parel area or the Dadar area? Because those turn out to be the chink in the arm. So, thank you.
When it comes to the urban flooding, I have not touched upon urban flooding because urban flooding is a part of storm water. It comes through the rain. That is what is over there. So if we need to connect it, because at some of the places, the MCGM, what they have done is that the separate system of carrying the wastewater, which we have, where only the wastewater flows, there is another system to take care of storm water. And when these two are combined, we call it combined system. So this is not a combined system. Sometimes the MCGM has given a connections that wherever the overflooding is there, they take the extra water into that and drain it. Now, when it is coming to the question which you have asked, that if there is a flooding, what to do on the surface? It is because of the rainwater. I am not referring to, because this is not because of the wastewater. Wastewater drains are pretty below, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, and it is flowing. Only the problem I'm referring here is inadequacy because of the load. So stormwater, if you are referring to, we can discuss, because I'm not talking here about stormwater. But yes, the problem can be tackled very well. It is possible. Netherlands has done it. They are handling with the water.
Thank you. Now, I request Mr. Ramamurthy Mayavan to please come up on stage and hand over the memento to Dr. Prashant Bhave. Thank you, Dr. Prashant Bhave. Now, we would like to invite Mr. Kunal Chonkar, Economic Affairs Officer, Consulate General of Japan, to please come up on stage. We would like to present a memento to you, sir. And I would also like to invite Mr. Satyanarayan Chaudhary, IGSID branch. Please come up on stage. We would like to present a memento to you.